Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from ignorance to illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vitraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gītāmrita Duhe Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gītāmritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. We have been dealing for the last few classes on the 16th verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This is one of the most technical verses, one of the most tough verses, but this is the whole essence of all the scriptures in this world. Not only of Bhagavad Gita, all the scriptures. There are two things in this world we experience regularly, reality and seeming reality. Many times I used that word, reality and seeming reality. They are not experienced alternatively, they are experienced at the same time. But where is our emphasis? Is it on the reality or is it on the seeming reality? So the definition of what is seeming reality. There is no unreality. Is it reality or seeming reality? What is seeming reality? That which is changing, that which is dependent, that which is limited. These three definitions you take. That which is changing all the time, that which is dependent, and that which is limited. Any name and form is limited, and that which is dependent. The example, we have already discussed it. Here is a clay, and here is a pot. Here is clay, here is a pot. Now, which is the real thing? Which is the seeming reality? The clay is reality, and the pot is seeming reality. Why is it seeming reality? First of all, it is a change, because the pot is nothing but a change brought about in the clay. Particular shape, particular name, particular prayojana, utility. What is the second thing? It is limited. The pot can be small, pot can be big, pot can be even bigger. That is the limited. Third, what is the third? Dependent. What is dependent? Here is a crucial law, and we have defined it many times. Yat sattve yad bhavati, yat asattve tat na bhavati. If there is something, that object remains. If it is not there, that object will not be. Find out what is that object which remains, because that is the essence of it. For example, you take clay and pot. Mind you, they are not two separate objects. They are not two separate substances. Substance is only one. So how do we know what is the substance? Remove potness from the clay. Will clay remain or not? And so remove the form and name. Will the clay remain? Remove the clay from the pot. Will it remain? So take another example. Remove the shape from the wood. Will it be called a table? It will be simply called wood. But remove the wood from the table. What remains? Absolutely nothing. Now you understand which is dependent. The table is dependent, the pot is dependent. Which is independent? The wood, the clay, they are totally independent. These are the three definitions. The wood, as an example, wood also changes, but we are talking about the ultimate matter. That's why the law of thermodynamics, matter cannot be created, matter cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed. Transformation means a change in shape and therefore a name and therefore a utility. These are the three simple rules. There are other things, but I made it very simple. If we apply this in this world, is there anything which is permanent, changeless? You take any object in the world, take only two objects, because that will explain the whole universe. The body and the mind. Is the body changeful or changeless? If you understand that one, then you understand the other two also. What is it? If this is an effect, let's say that which is seeming reality is also technical language. It is called karya. Karya means what? Effect. If this is a table, this is called an effect. The table is an effect of what? Wood. The table is called effect. Wood is called the cause. As an example, the cause is permanent, the effect is temporary. In this whole world, show me one object. In fact, the very word object means it is an effect, which is permanent. There is no object in this world. But the whole universe is an object. The whole universe, we are not talking about this object, that object. As a whole, the whole universe is, if that is an object, what is another name for it? Effect. If it is an effect, it must have a cause. And who is that cause? In simple language, God. God. Can you imagine a God? Karana. God means Karana, technical language. This is called Karya. Can you imagine God changes? This is another name for God is Achyuta. He remains Ajaha, Nityaha, Shashvataha, Puranaha. All these descriptions is descriptions of the Karana, cause. For that is what we are dealing. So the reality is Karana, the seeming reality is the Karya, effect. The whole universe is nothing but Karya. Why? These three reasons we have given. The first reason, it is changing. It is subject to change. The second is it is dependent. It is dependent upon what? Upon its cause. An effect is always dependent upon its cause. What is the third thing? Limited. Because there is no object which is unlimited. Everything is limited. There are other descriptions of object is there, but what is important is here, only one point I want to tell you. When we are using the word dependent, limited means dependent, we have to bring in a different concept. What is it? This table, so-called table, chair, door, is dependent upon the wood, karana. The whole universe is dependent upon one karana. What is that karana, do you know? My awareness. Think about it deeply. When do you say, I am experiencing an object? When do you say? Only when you are aware. When you are in deep sleep, what happens to the world? That's why you won't experience either happiness or unhappiness, because the entire karya is not there. For today, that much is enough. Is it clear? You, pure consciousness, you are the subject, experiencer, knower, seer, different names are given. The entire universe, including your idea of God, very dangerous idea. Your Vishnu is dependent upon whom? Upon you. Your Ramakrishna is dependent upon whom? Now I will bring the parallel idea. When Totapuri told Sri Ramakrishna, you make your whole mind totally free. You know that vision. What did he do? Until that time, says, I see my mother, my divine mother. And whatever seeing means what? Experiencing. Experiencing means what? I am dependent upon it. But if my consciousness withdraws from whatever, here is something irreverent example, whether I am looking at a table, or whether I am looking at Divine Mother Kali or Vishnu, all fall under the category of what? Object. Is there any gradation? Value gradation? This is less value and this is higher value. So far as pure consciousness is concerned, there is no value at all. All are same. Zero. But if we are identified with body-mind, there is a huge difference is there. Swami Vivekananda gives a beautiful example. These are things for deep thinking. He says, suppose out of clay you make a mouse and an elephant. Is there a difference between clay mouse and clay elephant? From the practical point of view, there is a huge difference is there. But from the subjective point of view, absolutely there is no difference at all. As I said, these are things we have to meditate and make it our own. Totapuri came and said, first you find out you are the independent subject, and including Mother Kali, Vishnu is a dependent object. Therefore, once you realize it, then you come back and you prostrate before the Divine Mother any number of times, because you know there is no difference between the subject and the object. So this differentiation in value is applicable when there is a differentiation between subject and the object. But the moment that subject and object differentiation is destroyed, then there is no value at all between the subject. In fact, there is no subject and object. That is why Sushupti is an example. Deep sleep is an example where there is no object at all. So whether a mouse stands in front of you or an elephant stands in front of you, whether somebody gives you a copper coin or somebody else gives you a diamond, when you are asleep, what is its value? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Until you recognize, there would be no difference. It is a very difficult thought, but this is a fact. I am not talking about what is a scriptural statement. I am talking about our day-to-day experiences. Just listen, think over it. But that is the same thing we can apply also with regard to any object in this world. I will give you an example. You meet somebody. What is the value of that person? Absolutely nothing. Because he is a stranger, you just see that person and you have no relationship with that person. Therefore, the value is only, okay, I recognize there is a person here. Accepting that, there is no other value. But supposing you happen to be nearer to him, you become friends and you forge a closer relationship with that person. The moment you do that, all values come. Here is a couple, they are married. Before marriage, they did not know each other. What is the value of each other? Supposing this man dies, will she weep? Suppose that woman dies, will he weep? But when does this value come in? When they both come near, get introduced, develop what is called talk, develops with a walk, and ends in a lock. First wedlock and then deadlock. Not a funny, is the way is funny. Deadlock means, they get divorced. They don't like each other. They don't love each other. They don't love each other means they don't like, but deadlock means if once the person is dead, the link is broken. And that's what is going to happen today or tomorrow, is it not? It's a fact. We are not accepting that one. So what is the point we are making? The whole world, our life in this world can be divided into two. I am the subject, the whole universe is the object. And unless I give value to the object, it is valueless. But what is truly valuable? Only me. So what happens? When we become devoted to God, then God becomes most valuable. You can see it in day-to-day life. A person says, I don't believe in God. For him, God has absolutely no value. But the more devotion a person develops, then he projects his own valuation. Who gives the valuation? We give the valuation. That's why Sri Ramakrishna's words are so deep. He says, any number of zeros have absolutely no value. But the moment you put 1, every zero that we add has increasing valuation, 10, 100, 1000, etc. These are the reality and seeming reality. I made a statement, very important to understand. We do not experience them alternatively. We experience all the time both. So that's an important point. Let us keep it in mind. When I am a child, I identify I am a child. So we say, I am so many years old. When I am a youth, I say I am a youth. When I am a middle-aged person, old person, I go on changing my identity. But at the same time, there is a sakshi, it is called witness, which crystal clearly the witness says, it is witnessing, I witnessed I was a child, I witnessed I was a young person, I witnessed I was a middle-aged person, now I witness I am a old person. That's a very important point we keep in mind all the time. These two are there. One is the unchanging I, the other is the changing I. This unchanging I is what gives identity to our whole life. That is what he says is a very good question. The cosmic I, which is Ishvara, and our I, both are witnessing I. The difference is, he doesn't have an individual mind, he has got a universal mind. That means all of our eyes together, that is his I. From highest point of view, it is a construct. From our point of view, it is the highest reality. Until Totapuri came, what was the highest reality? Mother Kali. But once he came, he said that you are making unnecessary division between that Mother Kali and Parabrahman. That is, when you know that I am Mother Kali, then I am Brahman. Because our problem is, I am Mother Kali, we are not saying it. This is my God. How can I be God? This is our problem. But there will come a time when we say, I am nothing but God. It is like, when you are looking at the mirror, whom are you looking at actually? Only my Pratibimba. But going on looking at my face in the mirror, I become so mesmerized by my own face. I am dependent upon that face, forgetting that it is me whose face. So I try to correct that face. I am putting it a little bit lightly. What it means is, really speaking, socially, we are all about, you are looking so beautiful, you are very happy. What are they looking at? Are they looking at you, or are they looking at your image? And what are you looking when they say when they issue such a statement? What are you looking at? The society acts like a mirror. Says, the mirror says, I am very beautiful. I become dependent. Do you follow what I am saying? I am subject to the opinions of, that is what a mirror is there. But there is no mirror in this world which gives me the correct image of my own face. It is all distorted mirror. The whole world is a distorted mirror. But if you go to the scripture, that is why scripture is called a mirror. Shastra Darpana. Darpana means what? Mirror. Shastra says, you are not X, Y, Z. You are Brahman. You are divine. If you don't want to use the word Brahman, use the word divine. It means the same. But it makes a lot of difference for me. I am divine because I am a child of God. But to say I am God, I am a little bit frightened. He may get jealous and then he may do something to me. Fear comes like that. Anyway, what is the point? We are experiencing reality and seeming reality. And here is the point again I am bringing. The seeming reality is dependent upon what? Therefore, we should shift our attention from the seeming reality to the reality which is me. Slowly we will understand these points. So here is an important, very important point here. What will be our understanding about ourselves is what we experience in the world. If you see goodness in somebody else, how do you see? Because you put on the mirror of the spects of goodness, and then only you can see. Do you follow what I am saying? If I don't have the goodness, I can't see. If I don't have that idea of beauty, then you can't see the beauty. Good or bad, whatever we have, that's our spectacle through which we perceive the whole universe. So why did I bring this point? It's very, very important. If we want to be real, true devotees of God, God is there. All the time God is there. But how do we become good devotees? We have to bring life to God. In the sense, the more we develop that idea that I am divine, the more we have concept about God also. Is it a difficult thing to understand? It is difficult. So, the purpose is to make our mind or to elevate our mind so that when we know that our mind is filled with love, then we know God is of the nature of love. When we are filled with goodness, we know that God is goodness. To make the point crystal clear technically, when I know I exist, I know God is. When I am temporary existence, God is permanent existence. When I am temporarily happy, God is permanently happy. And when my knowledge is small knowledge, I know through my small knowledge and adding imagination, God is all knowledge. Do you get the point now? If I am this much existence, God is 100% existence. If my knowledge is this much, God is 100% knowledge. If my happiness is this much, God is 100% happiness. That means what? My little being and knowing and being happy is I am acquiring a little bit of God's quality, and through these spectacles when I look at God, I have a better idea of God. And this is also a dangerous idea, because if anybody is cruel, means I am cruel, then his idea of God also will be very cruel. That there are sects which worship the ferocious God, which require Narabali, Bali, Pushubali, understand? A sacrifice of animals, human beings, kill everybody, because that idea which is in a small way in his nature, now he is projecting it onto God. If I love to eat meat, my God also loves to eat more meat. In the name of my God, I am sacrificing and doing it. But if I feel karuna, compassion, and then I say maitri, friendliness, how can I kill? Then my God also instantaneously becomes a God of compassion, God of mercy, God of unselfishness, etc. What is the point I want to say? How to become a devotee? Develop these good qualities. And through the spects of these good qualities, if we can project 100%, that would be our idea of God. That's why Swami Vivekananda, he made a very, very deep meaning statement. God grows as man grows. As man grows, God also grows. In reality, God cannot grow. But what does Swami Vivekananda mean? He means that as man's understanding of himself grows, his idea of God also geometrically it grows. More and more it grows. And that is how we progress in spiritual life. That is why the very first foundation of spiritual life is yama and niyama. But the essence of what we have discussed is constantly we are experiencing reality and seeming reality. Now what is seeming reality? That which is constantly changing, constantly dependent, and constantly limited. There are people who understand crystal clearly, here is reality and here is seeming reality. And the distinction between both of them also they know clearly. And such people go beyond all grief. Why? Because as I mentioned in my last class, neither we know about reality, neither we know about seeming reality. So what is, even though it is seeming reality, even though we are experiencing it every moment of our life, but we do not consider it, this is a changing reality. Seeming reality means what? Changing reality. Therefore, to consider it as a permanent reality is a total mistake. That is called, attachment. I want everybody, not everybody, I want people whom I love to live forever. And the funny thing is, I want to whom I don't like to die. But even more funnier thing is, I like this person now, I want this person to live for a long time. Then I start hating him. What is the effect now? I want that person to die as soon as, is it not? We are caught in this mesh of time, space and causation. That is called, another name, technical name for that is called Maya. So what is this verse, 16th verse is telling? Try to distinguish it. What is reality and what is seeming reality? Otherwise, if you only focus upon seeming reality, you lose the whole platform, because the seeming reality must depend upon reality. The seeming snake cannot exist unless there is the real rope. So unless what we call God means Satchidananda, the seeming reality cannot be. If we can understand that, that is called Tyaga. Tyaga means what? To distinguish between this is reality and this is seeming reality. Accept seeming reality from a practical point of view. Do what best you need to do, but be conscious all the time. This is a seeming reality, and that's what Sri Ramakrishna in his simple teaching, fourth commandment. What is it? Discriminate that this is God alone is real, everything else is don't use that word unreal, because that brings a lot of unhappiness, misunderstanding. He says temporary, everything is temporary. He makes it crystal clear there. God is permanent, everything else is temporary. Because we don't experience really unreality. We experience only what is called temporary reality. Every second it is changing. And there is another power of Maya. 10 years back I was younger. Today morning suddenly I found myself not so young. 10 years back I was younger. Until last day, yesterday, I was younger. Is it a fact? Or I have been changing continuously for the last 10 years. That's why we, to keep ourselves in the same situation, we do so many things. Do it. There is nothing wrong. Provided you have that background knowledge, this also will pass away. That's an important point. What is spiritual life? To make this distinction between reality and seeming reality, and slowly shift the focus from the seeming reality to reality. But it doesn't mean you run away. It means you do whatever you need to do completely. That is called spiritual life. True spiritual life is slowly to bring about seeming reality is nothing but temporary thing. Therefore, I will do what is necessary, but at the same time, I will try to shift my attention to, in simple language, theological language, God, from the world to God. That's important. If we can understand this, you have understood the essence of all the scriptures in this world. So the rest of the things is only to reinforcement. We will now go to the next verse. 17th verse. Avinashitu tad vidhi ena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartumarhate. Know that to be indestructible, by whom all this is pervaded. None can cause the destruction of that, the imperishable. The three words are used here. Indestructible, all-pervading, imperishable. In this 17th verse, three epithets are used. What is the first one? Indestructible. in this example, the clay cannot be destroyed, but the pot, not can be, don't use vague words, will be destroyed, not can be. Can be means what? Cannot be also. Will be destroyed sooner or later. The next word is all-pervading. What is all-pervading? If you take this example of pot and clay, the pot is pervaded by whom? Clay. Now, the word pervading, you have to understand in a real sense. Air pervades this whole room, but the air is different, the room is different. Is it in that sense? No. The clay pervades the pot. That means what? If you remove the clay, what remains of the pot? Nothing. In that sense, what does it really mean? God, I am using the word God instead of Brahman. God with a particular name and form is called an object. In fact, the whole world is nothing but God with name and form only. God plus name plus form is world, Jagat. World minus name and form is God. So that is how we have to understand. What is the third one? Imperishable, indestructible and imperishable. Two words, but same meaning. Imperishable and indestructible. Now nothing can destroy it. In fact, ultimately it is the time which destroys. Time, because we are all creatures of what? Time. So that is why Mahakali, like that we use that word. Avinashitu, know that means what? Brahman, God, to be indestructible. Nobody can destroy. So here is something very wonderful. Nobody can destroy God, because to destroy God, first of all, God must be destructible. Can you destroy existence? So when you take the example of clay and pot, when we mean by clay, we mean existence. The existence of clay cannot be destroyed, but the temporary existence of the pot can be. What is the temporary existence? Name and form. So you change this way, it is round. You change the other way, it is square. This way it is angular. Like that you can change it. Like putty, you can change. The whole universe is nothing but name and form. But what is the indestructible something there? Existence. Existence of the world and existence of God are one and the same. The existence of rope and the existence of the snake are one and the same or not? You cannot destroy the existence. But what happened? The rope form has been imagined as a snake form. Do you see now? And not only that, that form of the rope is there in the rope or in our mind, as an example. But the form of the snake, where is it? No, it is only the rope has its own existence with name and form, as an example. The rope is there. Where is the rope? There. Where is the snake? In my mind. That's why you go on trying to kill that one. The snake is not going to die. You better hit here, and immediately you wake up and then say, oh, this is a rope. That's why, and like that we'll do sometimes. Is another description. The reality, Avinashi, it is indestructible and it pervades the whole thing. Means, here pervasion means it itself appears or becomes as the world. This is the technical discussion a little bit. If it is Advaitins, they say seemingly it has become. Seemingly the rope has become the snake. But when Dvaitins, dualists or Visishtadvaitins, when they talk about, they say the milk has become curds. No more there is milk form. One is called Parinamavada, another is called Vivartavada. Actual transformation is preferred by the dualists. Seeming transformation is accepted only by the Advaitins. But this is like the Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the difference. What is all these useless arguments? You have a needle and you have kept it so carefully, you forgot where you kept it. And somebody comes and tells you, when you need the needle, somebody comes and then he says, I know there is a needle here, but I cannot put my hand upon it. If that person is some practical person, he will say, you stupid, better go and buy a needle, finish your job and be happy. This fellow says, an Advaitin. He says, no, I know it is there. Until I get it, I am not going to do this job. Advaitin, what he says, he goes to the shop, he buys the needle and then finishes his job and he is happy. Who is happier person now? Do you see what I am talking about? Whether seemingly lost or really lost, so long as you don't know, it is 100% lost. Accept that fact, do what best you can, and when you have realized it, when you got back your needle, you have got one more now. Only take care not to put the second time needle also. Know that to be indestructible, by whom all this. Now that means Brahman, Satchidananda, God. This means world. What we call the world, what we call our body and mind, because here is a very, very important point. We make a big distinction between me and the world, but the whole world is nothing but me. Your body and your mind is nothing but the whole universe. Think of it. Because when you are not aware of your body, mind, the whole world doesn't exist. And the whole world exists only when you become aware of your body and mind. And your relationship with the whole world is dependent upon what? Your own body, mind. Whether you are a good person, bad person, whatever you are, excepting your body, mind, nothing else exists in this world. Only Swami Vivekananda says, now you extend the idea of your individuality not only to this particular body and mind, to as much as possible. The self pervades the entire world like ether. Even if the pot is broken, the ether that is within and without cannot be destroyed. Similarly, if the bodies and all other objects perish, the eternal self that pervades them cannot be destroyed. This is the living truth. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anashino aprameyasya tasmad yudhyasva bharata. These bodies of the embodied self, which is eternal, indestructible and immeasurable, are said to have an end. Wherefore fight, O Arjuna. This Sri Krishna is using this word Arjuna. What is he telling now? Do you know? Very interesting thing. The whole discussion, teaching is for whom? For Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna had come to the battlefield and refusing, thinking that I am going to be the cause of destruction of Bhishma and Drona. There is, even from the practical point of view, there is something very, very important here. Did Arjuna have any objection to kill Duryodhana, Dushasana and others? No. That's why he is making a distinction, Bhishma, Drona and some of his my dear relatives and all those fellows, I don't want them to die. But the Krishna is telling is, they have joined the inimical party first. So whoever joins your inimical party is your enemy. Secondly, this is the first point. The second point is, are they looking at you as you are looking at them? You don't want to kill them, but they are more than happy to finish you. That is why, Duryodhana poked Bhishma, you are having partiality towards Pandavas. Then he takes, today I will show what Bhishma is. And then he goes on a rampage, slaughtering thousands and thousands of people on the battlefield. He was unstoppable. Even Arjuna could not stop. You know what happened then? Krishna took an oath, I will not fight, I will only be in advisory capacity. But now seeing, he thought that his whole purpose was to save Pandavas. But he understood, if I don't get in to take up a weapon, Bhishma is unstoppable. So they say a story, Krishna took a vow, I will not take a weapon. Bhishma took a vow, I will make him take a vow. And the moment, Bhishma was unstoppable, then Sri Krishna took his chakra. Then Bhishma came down and said that my only purpose is to make you break your world. So the devotees don't want to feel that their God Krishna had broken his promise. They add a very sweet interpretation, Rashagulla interpretation. You know what is the Rashagulla? God will break his words provided he will save the word of his devotees. Anyway, there was no other way. What is the point? Second point, you may look upon them in this way, but they are not prepared to look upon you in the same way. They are prepared to destroy you at the earliest possible opportunity. This is the second point. That's why I don't want to fight. It is a foolishness for many reasons. One reason is your very nature will make you fight. Second is, we already discussed, we are recollecting the points. For three reasons, there is no cause for you to have these negative feelings. The first is, if you look upon yourself as a body, you are going to die. Whether Bhishma kills you and nobody kills you, time is going to kill you. Therefore, nobody can stop death. But if it is a righteous cause, you better discharge your duty. First point. The second point, this is dependent upon Hindus' belief in the law of dharma and adharma. So, whatever we do in our life, that's what we are going to attain in our next birth. If you have done only dharma, you will go to higher worlds and enjoy. But if you have done adharma, wherever you go, higher world or lower world, you will either you enjoy or you suffer according to the results of your own karma. Now, Bhishma and Drona, they were really virtuous people. Only they were forced to join the party because of that politics. Now, if you kill them, then where will they go after death? Krishna's explanation. Where will they go? They will go to heaven, because through whole life they have done nothing but dharma. Even today when they are fighting, they are not fighting because of their hatred against you. They are fighting because they are forced to fight. This situation is a very practical situation. Suppose you are a dharmic person, righteous person, you joined the army, and some other country, it declares war against you, and you are a soldier. What is your duty? You have no hatred against anybody, but as a duty-bound person, you are bound to fight whether you like it or not. So Bhishma and Drona fall under that category. They are not fighting you because they hate you. They are fighting because they are forced because of the circumstances to join Duryodhana and others. There was no option for them. There was no option. It's a very interesting point, nothing to do with Gita teaching. You see, when Pandavas lost their bet and had been banished to the forest, do you think that Bhishma, Drona were oath bound to follow Pandavas, or they are oath bound to remain with Duryodhana? And actually, Duryodhana was not the king. The whole point was, who was the king? Dhritarashtra was the king. So long as he was, in fact, he survived all his children's death. Strong, very strong the attachment, He didn't want to leave that kingdom. Even though Yudhishthira offered, you are like my own father, so I will honor you. But Vidura came and told him, it is like eating the people whom you created all these problems. Now they are cherishing you. What a shame it is. Every day with this idea that these are the people against whom I have plotted my whole life. What a, that conscience pricks them. You have to live with them. But so strong was his desire to live a happy life that he lived until only ultimately Vidura comes and then takes them away to the forest, and then there they perish. But what is the point here? Bhishma, Drona were constrained to remain behind to protect the Kaurava kingdom, and they were forced after 13 years when these Pandavas returned and demanded their share of the kingdom, and they were refused to be given, which were their rightful share. And then there was no other way. Even Krishna goes as an ambassador of peace, and he fails there. And then the last resort was to do fight. And you have decided it. You yourself have encouraged. In fact, Yudhishthira did not want it. You fellows, you, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, excepting Dharmaraja, everybody was encouraging the fight only. You are a coward. Even they abused him like anything. And because of you, he accepted it. And you have been made the, what is called, commander-in-chief. And having come here, and then now you say, This is what you call, if you are a single person, even if you are in the battlefield, you run away, it doesn't really matter. But the whole Pandava community depends upon you, and you are betraying them, which is more adharmic than that. So, what is the second point? Even if you happen to kill Bhishma and Drona, after death, where will they go? To higher worlds. And therefore, there is nothing for you to worry. That is the second point. What is the third point? If you really think yourself as Atman, not body, not mind, because the important law, you remember, what I think about myself, I know the whole world to be that. If I think I am the body mind, how do I view everybody as body and mind? If you think you are the Atman, there is no question of one Atman killing the other Atman. From these 3 points of view, there is no reason for you to grieve at all. These are the 3 points we have to remember. And this, from the 12th verse onwards, description of Atman is going on and on. Here he is saying, the self pervades all objects like ether. Even if the pot is broken, the ether that is within and without cannot be destroyed. You know, this is a very famous Vedantic analogy. The Akasha, ether means Akasha, in this room, Akasha outside the room. Before this house was built, how many Akashas were there? Only one. You built the house. Now it seems there is one ether outside and there is one ether inside. Really, is there anything? So Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful analogy. On a body of water you put a stick. Now it appears left side water of the stick and right side water of the stick. But really the water divided? No, it is only one water. Atman is like that. So the eternal self that pervades them can never be destroyed, because destruction can come only that which is limited. That which is unlimited cannot be destroyed. For the simple reason, for it to be destroyed, there must be something else. And if it is only one, who is going to destroy it? That is why the one Atman cannot destroy the other Atman, because there is only, how many Atmans are there? Seemingly there are so many Atmans. If you have 10 mirrors and you stand in front of the 10 mirrors, how many reflections will be there? 10 will be there. But how many use? Only one. Very difficult idea to find it out. Slowly we will have a little bit of that understanding. So this is what the 17th verse says. Before we close, one point again I remind you. We know a little bit about seeming reality, because it changes, we all know it. Though we don't accept it actively, but reluctantly we will be forced to accept. When somebody dies, somebody becomes old, and we ourselves, many things change. We don't want some things to let go, but we accept them. But what about the characteristic of the Atman? We have absolutely no idea, excepting I am. This we all know. I am is personal experience, individual experience, all the time. But what am I? Who am I? I am. What am I? I don't know. Because my idea of what I am is, I am the body, I am man, I am woman, I am young, I am old, I am healthy, unhealthy, I am strong, I am weak, I am literate, illiterate, etc. But I am that Atman. All these descriptions, are they in our experience? No, they are not in our experience. That is why one particular point which I wanted to bring out, and you have to find out, how do I know I am that Atman? Pure, I am God, in other words. I am divine. How do I know? You do not know. Then how will I know? First accept intellectually from the Shastra Pramana. That is where faith comes in. What is faith? Many times I define what is faith. What is faith? Having what is called indirect knowledge gained from the scriptures is called faith. I have knowledge, but this knowledge is not my direct experience, but it is borrowed from the scriptures. Simple. We have to understand Gita in our day-to-day normal experience. You see, we are devotees of Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna is all pervading. Sri Ramakrishna is very compassionate. Is it your experience? Sri Ramakrishna is an incarnation of God. Is it your experience? But we behave as though it's our experience. How do we do that? Shastra Pramana. That is where the word faith is very important. Keep it in mind and think of what is faith. Taking knowledge as though it is our experience, but taking it from the scriptures. In other words, having faith in the teachings of the scriptures as though that is 100% true, real. That is called faith. It's not easy, but that is called faith. That is how we pray to Sri Ramakrishna, accepts my salutations, listens to my prayer. How do you know God listens to your prayer? It is only faith. And you need very strong faith, because sometimes prayers are answered and sometimes they are not answered. We should not lose faith. Then what is the scripture telling? If your prayer is not answered, it doesn't mean God did not answer it, because He will wait for the right time to bestow He is bestowing His grace even now. We don't understand. Because if we give something at the wrong time, because we think we know what is good for us, like a mother who knows what is good for the child, she will give at the right time, the right quantity, in the right manner. God also gives to us at the right time what is right and how much is right. That faith and Sharanagati are equivalent. What did I say? Faith and Sharanagati. Sharanagati means what? Oh Lord, I leave it to you. You do what you think is good for me. I have faith in it. You pray, but you surrender. That's very important word. So all these descriptions about the Atman, we really have no experience, but we wish to have them. That is a very interesting thing. Who wants to be destroyed? I don't want to be destroyed. Who wants to be unhappy? I don't want to be unhappy. Who wants to be a fool? That's why they say, if you call a fool, he will get very angry. But if you call a fool, you are a very wise man, he will be very happy. And a fellow who believes, hearing others you are a wise man, thinks that he is a wise man, he is the greatest fool on earth. Because a wise man knows, I am a fool. That's what, not my words. Oh, Socrates. Socrates, he was asked, why do you think you are wise? Because everybody thinks he is wise, but I alone know I am not wise. That's why I am declared as the wisest person on earth. By whom? Delphi oracle. That is what Sri Ramakrishna also says, O Ma, I do not know. You know what is. That's very important. But by meditating upon these qualities, as though they belong to the Atman, and when we are meditating, actually they are transforming whom? When you think God as good, who is getting better? Me. When I meditate upon God as unselfish, who is becoming more unselfish? Me. Do you see the point? That is the whole purpose of the scripture. First have faith, Sravana, then Manana. Our meditation is nothing but Manana. And then Nididhyasana, means one day we know, yes, this is all true. Beautiful. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.